Wild out, everybody get it on. I catch you out there with the Polish hammer, throw you to my man and watch him earth slam ya. We #1 and we bad for your health. You got no help, we snatching those belts. I knock you out of this building, boy, cause I came to crush, kill, destroy, crush, kill, destroy, 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 crush, kill, destroy, 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 destroy. SmackDown, Raw, now we fighting for to see who the champion is. Once more, is it you with the signature move? Is it you with the heart that refuses to lose? Is it you for the tap out? 1, 2, 3. Is it you trying to lay the smackdown on me? I ain't having it beat. You can never be raw than me. So let's take it to the ring so everybody can see me. Crush, kill, destroy, 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 destroy. Crush, kill, destroy, 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 destroy. Ain't nobody better. Nobody brings the terror. Attitude is real rude and whatever. You might try, but you cannot stop me. Got the eye of the tiger, but I'm 10 times.
Good evening, and welcome to a sold-out show from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm Michael Cole, here with Taz at ringside, and have we got a show for you tonight?
Hey, Cole, we're in the desert. This is nuts. Every SmackDown show is bigger and better than the ones that came before, and tonight's gonna be bigger than all of them.
That's a bold statement, partner, but I can't disagree. I don't think Phoenix has any idea what they're in for tonight.
And there's the counter, Cole. You know, there's no doubt that The Undertaker is one of the most impressive superstars ever to set foot in a WWE ring. But you know what, Cole? You're only as good as your last match.
How can you say that, Taz? The Deadman has proven himself time and time again.
There's the reversal, Cole. Man, this match is so good, it's even worth sitting next to you to watch it, Cole.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Taz. You know, you're not always my #1 choice for a broadcast partner either.
You know what you should do, Girl Pants? You should team up with Jerry Lawler. Then it could be the king and queen on commentary.
Real funny, Taz. You know, that would almost be worth not having to work with a joker like you all the time.
Look at these superstars, Cole.
What a counter that was!
Looks like they might be taking this match down a notch here, Cole.
The pace of the match may have slowed, but the intensity of these superstars certainly hasn't.
You could say that again. Waiting for your opponent to make a move or give an opening can be just as intense as putting them through a table.
And whether or not you have that kind of patience often means the difference between winning and losing a match.
I think they're slowing their pace down a little bit, Cole, and that's a good way to refocus your energy, but you'll also give your opponent time to recover. That's not good.
It certainly isn't. But if you try to rush things, you could wind up making a critical mistake that could cost you the match.
He dodged that bullet. Look at these superstars go. It's obvious they've done their homework on each other.
That's for sure. This match might have been over by now if they hadn't.
90% of a match is in the preparation, Cole. You gotta come ready for the battle.
How much can these superstars possibly have left?
They got us, Cole. Trust me. You get in that ring and you find out you got reserves you never knew you had.
I can imagine. Nothing pushes you to the limit quite like a WWE match. He saw that one coming.
I think this proves without a doubt why SmackDown's the dominant brand in sports entertainment.
I can't help but agree, partner. You won't see action like this on Raw.
Yeah, and even if you did, you'd have to listen to a couple of yahoos jabbering about puppies and government mules and scolded dogs. I'll tell you, it's like a damn zoo over there. Man, even if you end up winning a match like this, you're going to be feeling it for the next week.
Yes, but that's the case if you lose as well. And having to deal with emotional as well as physical pain is that much worse.
Emotional? What the hell are you talking about?
Well, I've been in the locker room after a match and seen the superstars who don't get their hands raised. You can literally feel the disappointment radiating off them. It's not a pretty sight.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Nothing causes you a match quicker than overconfidence.
What are you talking about? I see a dominant superstar who's rallying this capacity crowd behind him. A textbook reversal. Can follow up.
Jeez, what a match. I got no idea what these superstars are going to do next.
That makes two of us, partner. And I think that's one great reversal. These superstars have proven time and again that they're willing and able to go the distance.
Well, you don't go too far in this business if you're not, Cole.
That's for sure, partner. There's always someone right behind you, ready to overtake you if you can't keep up.
Well, it looks like they're slowing the pace down a little bit here. That might not be such a good move, in my opinion.
Come on, you just can't keep going non-stop. That's a good way to wear yourself out and make a critical mistake.
No, but you can't give the opponent any time to recover, neither. You gotta stay on them and wear them down.
But what about picking your spot? If you try to execute a badly timed move just because you want to stay on offense, that could have a disastrous result.
I'll tell you what, let me talk about what it's like to be in a match like this, and you...
It looks like he's decided to finish off his opponent.
And what a way to do it! A tombstone pile driver! He's in trouble, Cole, I am telling you. His opponent's really softened him up.
And now one good submission move could end this match.
Nice quick counter. You know, we've seen some pretty good back and forth action here, but you don't see too many matches end that way.
No, you don't. And I think we'll see one superstar dominate the match before it's over. And there's the reversal.
You know, a lot of guys call themselves the best in the business, but in Triple H's case, I think he's right on. Man, I'll tell you, I'd love to have him on SmackDown.
You've got to be kidding me, Taz. Triple H has systematically destroyed the Raw roster. He might be the most hated superstar of all time.
Yeah, but don't kid yourself, Cole. The fans tune in every week to see what the game has got on his mind and what the game is going to do to somebody. Let me tell you something, Triple H, you know what's coming next, Cole.
Tombstone pile driver. How many superstars have fallen victim to that over the years?
Superstars have been going hard all match.
They sure have. And that's where the superb conditioning of the WWE superstars comes into play.
No doubt, Cole. There ain't no way you're going to win a match if you're out of gas 2 minutes into it.
You can say that again. I've seen matches won and lost simply because one superstar was able to outlast their opponent. Look at this, Taz. This could be it.
Good night, Irene. Nobody sticks around long after taking a finisher like that. H is the man, Cole. I've been in the ring with this dude, and I'm not ashamed to say,
Nice reversal. I think the SmackDown locker room is extremely grateful that Triple H is not a...
Watch it, he reversed it. The thing you gotta remember about The Undertaker is that 50% of his stuff...
He anticipated that move perfectly.
Seems like things have quieted down a little bit here, Cole.
I think this may just be the calm before the storm, Taz.
You feel like a real jerk when somebody counters you like that. I gotta tell you, Cole, I thought I had this thing figured out. But now I got no idea how this is gonna end up.
Neither do I, Taz. And I think it's that unpredictability that makes it so exciting.
No doubt, Cole. I've seen superstars get a huge advantage over their opponents and still lose the match because they got sloppy.
Anything can happen in WWE. An entire match can turn on one or two big moves.
And that's why you can't take your eyes off the action for 1 second. You never know when something huge is gonna go down. He slipped out of that one. Man, Cole, I don't want this match to end.
I'm with you, partner. But it's got to end sooner or later.
Well, whichever way it goes, no one can say that these superstars didn't give it everything they got.
Watching these superstars go at it reminds me why I prefer to stay on this side of the announce table.
Oh, come on, Cole. You know, you should let me train you. You could be Cruiserweight champion in like a year.
Oh, no. I've heard stories about the way you train people. You make Marine drill instructors look like pushovers.
Duh. They're just training people to go to war. I train them to beat WWE. Someone's going for a ride, Cole.
And it looks like it's the last ride. I don't think there's ever been a more dominant superstar in WWE than the legendary Deadman, The Undertaker.
Yeah, but you can only stay on top of the mountain for so...
That reversal might stop his opponent's momentum dead.
You know, Cole, the more I superstars.
You might be right, Taz. After all, they spent the better part of the match beating the hell out of each other. It's hard not to take something like that personally.
This is completely off the hook, Cole.
We were expecting a solid match from these superstars, but this is even better than I'd hoped.
He made his opponent look like a punk with that counter.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are seeing an incredible display of athletic ability here tonight.
What do you expect, Cole? These are WWE superstars, for crying out loud. They're the greatest athletes in the world.
True enough, Taz. There's no off-season for them. There's no month or two off between matches.
There sure ain't, Cole. I mean, these guys are here week in and week out, and every night they leave it in the ring.
And they do it all for the WWE fans, Taz. Without them, none of us would even be here.
That was a textbook reversal.
These superstars are so unpredictable. I'm having a hard time figuring out what they're going to do next.
Don't bother, Cole. I don't think you're going to be able to. Just sit back and enjoy the ride.
And what a wild ride it's been so far, with no signs of stopping anytime soon. He was one step ahead on that one. I don't think anyone in this match has even considered that they might not walk out the winner.
I'm sure they haven't, Cole. That's the kind of attitude that gets you beat quicker than anything. As soon as you let the slightest doubt into your mind, you can forget about it.
And that's something I don't think people realize. The mental conditioning of the WWE superstars is just as impressive as the physical conditioning.
Man, I'll tell you what, man, this one's just turned into a fight. Pure and simple.
We knew it was going to be intense. We knew it was going to be physical. But I don't think anyone was prepared for this.
I gotta admit, it kind of took me by surprise, Cole. That don't happen too often.
That's an understatement. You've been in hundreds of matches in your career. We've both called hundreds more. We usually have a pretty good idea of what to expect, but not this time.
I guess it just goes to show you, Cole, like they say, anything can happen here in the WWE.
Look at this! Could it be?
You're damn right it is, Cole, and that's a heck of a finisher right there. I wonder if we're going to see anything this good on Raw next Monday, Cole.
Come on, Taz. I think we both know the answer to that one.
I don't think this is just a match anymore, Cole. This is getting personal.
Well, what do you expect? They've been beating the hell out of each other all match.
Yeah, but it's more than that, Cole. I don't think they look at each other the same way after this one. These superstars are on top of their game, but only one of them is going to have their hand raised at the end of this one.
And that's a real shame because, like you said, this has been a great match so far.
Well, what do you want, Cole? You want to say that everyone wins so nobody gets their feelings hurt?
I never said that. I'm just saying that in a great match like this, everyone involved deserves credit for it.
Seeing a match like this makes me proud to be part of this company.
I'm with you, partner. You just can't experience a thrill like this anywhere else.
And that's because you ain't going to see athletes like this anywhere else.
You certainly aren't. They're the greatest athletes in the world, and this is the only place you'll see them doing what they do best. There are limits to the amount of punishment that a human body can absorb. And if you want proof of that, just take a look at these superstars. What a reversal. I hope this isn't the last time we see these superstars face off.
You're not going to hear me say this much, Cole, but I definitely agree with you. This has all the makings of a nice, long feud.
I don't know how nice it is, but there are certainly some issues between these superstars, and I think this match might only exasperate them.
Jeez, Cole, watch your language, will you? It's a family show.
I said exasperate. Not, oh, never mind. These superstars are clearly giving it their all tonight.
Not a surprise there at all, Cole. I mean, tell me the last time that you saw a WWE superstar only go halfway.
I don't think I ever have, Taz. Everyone on the roster gives 110%. If they didn't, they wouldn't be here.
You know, you can't take a beating like this and expect to win the match, Cole. I don't think this is going to last much longer. I'll tell you, anyone who thinks this business is a piece of cake, they should get in the ring with these superstars.
I don't think anyone would last too long against them. These are trained WWE professionals.
I'll tell you, Cole, this is what the WWE is all about.
You're absolutely right, Taz. The greatest athletes in the world competing on the grandest stage of them all. Each of these competitors is looking for the slightest hint of weakness in the other.
That's the law of the jungle, Cole. An injured superstar's like a wounded animal. It's survival of the fittest.
And that also means that if you're not at 100%, you've got to be able to hide it from your opponent.
You got that right, Cole. This business is as psychological as it is physical. You can't let your opponent think you're easy pickings.
Well, I wouldn't consider any of these superstars to be easy pickings, no matter how beaten up they get. Here it is, Taz. He's building up a head of steam, and he's about to let his opponent have it.
I'll tell you what, if his opponent's got a brain in his head, he'll get the heck out of there. You're not going to see action like this anywhere except SmackDown, Cole.
You'll get no argument from me, Taz. SmackDown is the dominant brand in all of sports entertainment.
And I think these superstars are going to keep it up until they've got literally nothing left to give.
And that's the attitude you have to take to win. You know that your opponent isn't going to hold anything back, and you can't afford to either.
I'd love to know where you're coming up with this stuff, Cole. Because it's sure not from personal experience, I know that.
He's got this crowd solidly behind him, and now he's going to give them exactly what they want to see.
You can't just keep playing to the crowd, though, Cole. That's a huge distraction, in my opinion. These superstars are putting on a clinic in there.
Yeah, and not a health clinic. I don't think they'll be the same after this one.
Man, there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears shed in that ring over the years.
And if these superstars have their way, there's going to be a lot more shed here tonight.
How much longer are these superstars going to be able to keep it up?
Your guess is as good as mine, Taz. They're certainly not going easy on each other, that's for sure.
Well, I think this one's pretty much a foregone conclusion. Not too tough to figure out who's going to win this one.
You know, this wouldn't be the first time you've made a prediction that didn't pan out.
That's pretty funny. You know what I predict? You keep up with your mouth, you're going to have a permanent limp. You just don't see action like this every day, Cole.
You sure don't, Taz. And we've got the best seats in the house.
No doubt, front and center. We couldn't be any closer to this match without being in it.
Whoa, that's your territory, partner, not mine. I'm perfectly happy staying right where I am.
This is one hell of a performance by some amazing superstars, Cole.
What did you expect, Taz? This is SmackDown, after all, the #1 brand in sports entertainment.
Man, you talk about superstars who ain't got an ounce of quit in them, huh? You're looking at them right here.
And that's a potentially dangerous mindset to be in. If you're too proud to realize that you're in trouble, you might wind up risking your career for a single match.
Look, Cole, this ain't ballet. You gotta go in there every single match and be willing to do whatever it takes. You'd know that if you actually stepped in between the ropes.
I don't have to have been in a match to realize that jeopardizing my future for the sake of one match is incredible. He's had enough. This could be it.
This is it. The last ride. Oh, God. You can just feel the impact from here. This has been a great match so far, but I think it's pretty obvious which way it's going.
Oh, really? Are you willing to go out on a limb and actually make a guess then?
There's no guesswork involved, Cole. But if you're gonna be snippy, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
Wow, if I knew it was that easy, I would have said that years ago. We've seen an excellent match so far, and it's not over yet.
Not by a long shot, Cole. And that's a good thing. I don't think we could ever get sick of watching these superstars go at it.
Me neither, partner. This one's got rematch written all over it.
These superstars give everything they got when they're in a match like this. But a lot of people don't realize what they sacrifice behind the scenes also.
No question. If you want to make it in the WWE, you've got to sacrifice just about everything for your career. It has to be as important to you as anything else in your life.
Cole, what you got to realize, to make it in the WWE, this is not a job. This is a lifestyle. That's why you see so much passion for what they do in the ring.
And that's something you won't see anywhere else. With all due respect to every athlete and entertainer out there, no one gives as much of themselves to their fans as the WWE superstars.
He likes fighting dirty, and it's easy to see why. He's pretty good at it.
He certainly is, and I hope he's proud of himself. Personally, I find it disgusting. This could be a finishing move right here. How much more abuse can a human being take? If this match doesn't end soon, I think we might have a serious injury on our hands.
Here it comes, look out!
Oh man, many a superstar has fallen prey to that finishing maneuver.
See, now this is how you win a match, Cole. You work over your opponent until they can't fight back. Oh man, here it comes.
And that might be the end of the match right there. There's a reason that's called a finishing move. Look at these superstars, Taz. This can't go on much longer.
You know, the key to winning a match like this is to build some momentum. And you're not going to see a match won with just one or two moves.
No, but one or two big moves at a crucial point could change the direction of it completely. What an incredible match we've seen so far.
And it ain't over yet, Cole.
It sure isn't. I think these superstars could keep going for quite a while longer. This capacity crowd is certainly getting its money's worth here tonight.
And it's a good thing, too, Cole. If they're not buying tickets, we're not getting paychecks.
Well, I don't think we'll have to worry about selling tickets the next time we come back here.
These superstars are showing some great intensity here tonight, and that's what the WWE fans came to see.
That's for sure, Taz. And the #1 rule here on SmackDown is to send the fans home happy.
This is not just a match anymore, Cole. These superstars have got a legitimate beef with each other.
They do indeed. There's a lot of bad blood here for sure.
And if this keeps up much longer, that bad blood's gonna wind up all over the place. This one could still go either way, Cole.
It sure could. It's not over until the referee calls for the bell.
So, Cole, you got any predictions? Who you think's gonna win this one?
No way. I've seen you embarrass yourself with enough bad guesses that I'm not going to risk doing the same.
This is one heck of a match so far.
It sure is, Taz. What do you think the highlight has been so far?
Well, that'll probably come a little bit later on in the match, when you decide to shut your yap for a few seconds, and I can enjoy it in peace.
Well, excuse me for doing my job, partner. Sorry to have disturbed you.
I'll tell you, all the WWE superstars are legit tough guys. But these superstars are really raising the bar here tonight.
They sure are, Taz. We're seeing some great intensity here tonight.
And that's the name of the game, Cole, intensity. You gotta stay on your opponent until one of you can't go anymore.
I think these superstars are well aware of that, Taz. I think that's exactly what they've got in mind.
Look at this, Cole. Look at this.
Oh, my God. There's a reason that's called a finishing move. The match usually doesn't go much longer.
It's obvious these superstars have studied each other real carefully, Cole.
No question about that, Taz. You won't last long against an opponent you haven't done your homework on.
I think I've got a pretty good idea who's going to win this match, Cole.
I wouldn't be so sure, Taz. If there's one thing we've seen, it's that anything can happen here in the WWE. As it doesn't look like these superstars are going to go easy on each other.
That's not what they're getting paid for, Cole. And besides, they got too much pride to give less than 100% in there. Man, look at these superstars. You can't ask for a better example of what makes SmackDown so great.
You sure can. SmackDown's got the greatest superstars in the greatest matches for the greatest fans in all of sports entertainment.
Man, I almost feel bad for JR and King, Cole. When's the last time you think they saw a match this good?
I couldn't tell you, Taz. I don't know if they've ever had anything this good on Raw.
Me neither. Because I guess that just makes sense. I mean, after all, SmackDown is the #1 brand in all of sports entertainment.
And that's one of the few things we completely agree on, partner. It doesn't get any bigger or better than SmackDown.
These superstars are beating the living hell out of each other, and these fans are eating it up.
It's what they came to see, Taz, and these superstars are making sure they don't go home disappointed.
These superstars have been pounding the hell out of each other, and now we're starting to see the effects of that. Knife into the casket. This is not the best match if you're kind of a little claustrophobic. Too bad that's it, Cole. I could have watched them go even longer. Well, he wasn't planning on winding up into that casket tonight, but that's exactly what happened.
Here's your winner. I didn't even consider the fact that you might wind up buried alive and still come down that ramp for the match.
You can't, plain and simple. You don't go into a match like this one thinking you might lose. But there you go.
It's all about pay. Who's gonna make it? I am the game. You don't wanna play